Wrestling fans, the WWE Universe is buzzing at a frequency it hasn't reached in years because what's unfolding right now isn't just another rivalry, it's the kind of high-stakes, unpredictable, almost mythical storyline that changes the company's direction for years to come, and at the heart of it all is an alliance so unlikely, so loaded with history and tension, that even the most die-hard fans can't decide whether to cheer, boo, or just sit back in stunned silence as it plays out. The shockwaves began rolling across the wrestling world in the chaotic aftermath of SummerSlam 2025, when Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate, and Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, two men whose wars against each other have defined eras, appeared to put aside their blood-soaked history to join forces for one specific, ruthless purpose: to destroy Seth Rollins, dismantle his faction The Vision, and rip away everything Paul Heyman has built since turning his back on both of them. It's the kind of twist that feels impossible until it's right in front of you, and to understand the gravity of this, you have to go back and look at the tangled web of betrayals, personal vendettas, and calculated moves that brought us here. For months, WWE had been slipping into predictability, familiar matches, recycled feuds, outcomes fans could call before the bell even rang. Until Triple H, in one of his most daring creative moves as head of creative, decided to flip the entire narrative on its head. Seth Rollins, already smug in his role as World Heavyweight Champion, had become the centerpiece of Heyman's new empire, flanked by the muscle of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, making him virtually untouchable in the ring and untouchable in the boardroom. But arrogance invites enemies, and Rollins was surrounded by them. Roman Reigns, still seething from his loss at WrestleMania 41 where Heyman betrayed him in favor of Rollins, had been plotting a return with the precision of a chess master waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, had been absent for over a year, biding his time, nursing old grudges, and never forgetting that in 2022 Heyman had stabbed him in the back to stand beside Reigns. Both men had been burned by the same man, both had been humiliated on the biggest stages, and both were driven by the same burning desire for retribution. SummerSlam 2025 was where the first domino fell, after Cody Rhodes and John Cena tore the house down in a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. With Rhodes emerging victorious, Cena was left battered and barely standing when the lights suddenly cut out. The arena held its breath, and then, like a thunderclap, Brock Lesnar's music exploded through the speakers. The Beast charged the ring, lifted Cena like he weighed nothing, and delivered an F5 so vicious it left the entire stadium stunned. This wasn't nostalgia, this wasn't a return for the sake of it, this was a warning to the entire roster that Lesnar was back for war, and war meant bodies were going to fall. The next seismic moment came just 1 week later on Raw, when Seth Rollins strutted to the ring, World Heavyweight Championship glistening under the lights, bragging about his untouchable reign. LA Knight interrupted, hungry for another shot after beating Rollins at Saturday night's main event, and the two tore into a hard-hitting match that had the crowd electric, until CM Punk's music hit and chaos descended. Punk attacked Rollins, triggering a disqualification, and before long the Vision was swarming the ring, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker dismantling Punk as Rollins laughed over his broken body. And then came the moment no one saw coming. Roman Reigns' music hit, and the Tribal Chief stormed the ring with a fury that reminded the world why he dominated WWE for years. Superman punches, spears, pure dominance, until the numbers caught up and Rollins' faction left both Punk and Reigns sprawled on the mat. That was the moment the seeds of the Lesnar-Reigns alliance were planted, because both men now had a shared mission: take down Seth Rollins and destroy the house Paul Heyman built. The logic for the alliance is undeniable: shared enemies, a combined arsenal that blends Lesnar's raw, terrifying power with Reigns' cold, calculated leadership, and a mutual understanding of what it means to be betrayed by the one man who was supposed to have your back. Together, They could tear through the vision like a wrecking ball through glass, dismantling Rollins' protection and leaving him exposed. But the danger is just as great as the potential. Brock Lesnar is a predator who hunts alone and has no patience for politics, while Roman Reigns is a ruler who demands loyalty and submission from those around him. One wrong word, one misstep, and this alliance could implode into the kind of violent, personal feud that makes careers, or ends them. Add Paul Heyman into the equation and the stakes skyrocket even higher, because if there's one thing the WWE Universe knows, it's that Heyman thrives in chaos and can manipulate even the strongest alliances until they crumble in his hands. And just when you think you've mapped it all out, there's CM Punk, the ultimate wild card, circling the chaos, driven by his own hatred for Rollins but unpredictable enough to turn on anyone if it serves his purpose. The possibilities are endless. Lesnar and Reigns teaming to obliterate Reed and Breakker in a tag war that would send shockwaves through the division. Lesnar challenging Rollins for the title with Reigns at his side only for Reigns to betray him and seize the gold. Or the ultimate twist. Lesnar F5-ing Reigns at the height of their dominance, shattering the alliance in one brutal move. This isn't just a feud, it's a multi-layered chess game being played by titans, where the World Heavyweight Championship is both the prize and the weapon, and the cost of losing is far more than just a match. Every promo, every stare-down, every interference now feels loaded with meaning, and the WWE Universe is left wondering not just what's next, but who will survive long enough to see it. Will Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns truly unite long enough to destroy Seth Rollins and bring the Vision crashing down after SummerSlam 2025? Or will their egos, Paul Heyman's mind games, and the chaos that follows CM Punk tear them apart before they can even land the first blow? We are standing at the edge of a storyline that could deliver some of the most explosive matches in years. Lesnar vs. Rollins, Reigns vs. Breakker, a Survivor Series war for the ages, or a spectacular implosion that leaves everyone broken and the WWE landscape forever changed. And that, more than anything, is why we love this business, because in WWE, legends collide, alliances form and shatter in the blink of an eye, and the only certainty is that anything can happen. Wrestling fans, the energy in the WWE Universe has gone from a steady hum to an earth-shaking roar as the most unlikely and dangerous alliance in recent history threatens to reshape the entire landscape of sports entertainment, and the story begins in the chaotic aftermath of SummerSlam 2025, where two of the most dominant and feared forces in WWE history, Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, and Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, have somehow found common ground in their shared desire to destroy Seth Rollins and dismantle his faction, the Vision. On paper, this pairing sounds like a fantasy booking fever dream, yet it's unfolding before our eyes, and to understand just how we arrived here, we have to rewind and peel back the layers of betrayal, vengeance, and raw ambition that led to this powder keg moment. WWE had been drifting into predictable waters for months, the same match cycles and the same title defenses leaving fans restless, until Triple H seemingly decided to flip the script and inject pure adrenaline into the veins of the product. Seth Rollins, as the World Heavyweight Champion, had been riding high, his arrogance matched only by his cunning, and his partnership with Paul Heyman, alongside heavy hitters Bronson Reed and Braun Breakker, had made him nearly untouchable. Roman Reigns, once the unshakable head of the table with a legendary 1,316-day Universal Championship reign, had been betrayed at WrestleMania 41 when Paul Heyman shockingly sided with Rollins, a betrayal that cut deeper than any spear or Superman punch. On the other side of the betrayal coin stood Brock Lesnar, whose own alliance with Heyman imploded in 2022 when the Advocate turned his back on him to back Reigns, fueling Lesnar's rage for years. Fast forward to SummerSlam 2025 and the seeds of chaos began to sprout. After Cody Rhodes defeated John Cena in a brutal street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship, the lights went out, the the crowd erupted, and Brock Lesnar's music hit like a thunderclap. The Beast stormed the ring, scooped Cena up, and delivered an F5 that rattled the arena to its core. No words, no warning, just destruction, a statement that his return wasn't for nostalgia, but for war. The following Raw escalated tensions even further. Seth Rollins, smug and glowing under the championship spotlight, was interrupted by LA Knight demanding a rematch, only for CM Punk to crash the party and attack Rollins, triggering a disqualification. This chaos brought out the Vision to dismantle Punk, but then the impossible happened. Roman Reigns charged in, spearing and punching his way through the chaos, momentarily standing tall until the numbers game caught up and left him and Punk lying in ruin. That moment planted the seed for what would come next, the notion of Reigns and Lesnar setting aside their bloody history to target the man who had betrayed them both. On the surface, the alliance makes sense: shared enemies in Rollins and Heyman, a combined arsenal of Lesnar's raw, unmatched strength and Reigns' cold, calculated leadership, and a burning desire to not just beat the Vision, but to dismantle it piece by piece. Yet beneath that, danger brews, because Lesnar has never been one to share the spotlight and Reigns demands loyalty above all else. One wrong move and the alliance could implode in spectacular fashion. The potential scenarios are endless: Lesnar and Reigns teaming to annihilate Reed and Breakker in a tag war, Reigns backing Lesnar in a title match against Rollins before turning on him to seize the gold himself, or the ultimate betrayal with Lesnar delivering an F5 to Reigns at the peak of their dominance. And looming over it all is Paul Heyman, the master manipulator who could exploit every crack in their trust, playing them against each other to regain control. CM Punk's unpredictable presence adds yet another layer of volatility. Will he side with Reigns and Lesnar out of mutual hatred for Rollins, or turn on them the moment it serves him? The stakes are colossal: the World Heavyweight Championship, the future of the Vision, the legacies of Lesnar and Reigns, and the balance of power in WWE itself. We're staring down the barrel of a storyline that could deliver Lesnar vs. Rollins, Reigns vs. Breakker, a Survivor Series mega clash, or even a civil war between the two alphas before the year is out. This is not just a feud, it's a revolution waiting to ignite, a collision of egos, grudges, and history that promises either domination beyond anything we've seen or a spectacular self-destruction that will leave the WWE Universe stunned. The only question now is whether Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns will truly unite to obliterate Seth Rollins after SummerSlam 2025, or whether the schemes of Paul Heyman, the unpredictability of CM Punk, and their own unyielding pride will tear them apart before they even reach the summit.